Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today's video, we're back working on the Teisco guitar from the 60s, made in Japan. We took a first look at it the other day, last video matter of fact, and trying to decide what to do with it. So I went ahead and pulled the frets out. You can kind of see they come out really good. I won't say they come out easy, but they came out with virtually no tire out at all. So that was a good thing. Fretboard looks pretty good. Rounded up some frets that I had here. Going to use them. Had to determine the radius of the neck. Turned out it was 9.5 radius. Put my call in my press to press the frets. Got everything already. Found me some jumbo fret wire to make my 0 fret with. Pretty well got everything out. Got my vise set up. Got everything done. Ready to start. Going to do a video on putting these frets in. And then all this moving around, my fret nips are gone. And yeah, I could sit here with a file and I could file all these frets down, the ends down with a file, and use the end cutters, and I ain't fooling with that. So I just ordered a new set. I'll find the other ones as soon as the new ones come in. So no idea. It's moving back and forth. I've lost more stuff. So in this video, instead of doing our frets like I intended to, we're just going to move along and maybe getting the body stripped down and try to clean it up, whatever, and move along with that. Maybe we're at a decent angle where everybody can see a little bit. I'll show this neck again where I got the frets taken out. And a lot of people are real tempted when they get those frets out. That's when they want to take, lemon oil or any kind of cleaner, mean green, whatever. They want to clean that fretboard. Don't do that, because this is my opinion, and I'm sure I'll get told I'm wrong and don't know anything. But when you apply a liquid to this fretboard, it's going to swell the wood. It's going to absorb it, especially as dry as this one is. I don't want to do that before I have my new frets in there. I want to leave this dry, and I want to seat my frets all in here and not put nothing on this. Once I have my frets in, then I'll come back and put some lemon oil or linseed oil or whatever it is anybody uses, lizard spit, whatever. That's when I'm going to moisturize this fretboard once I have my frets in. So if anything, it tightens up, the frets after I've put them in. I don't want to put them in there, put that on there now. That's just me. Now I talked about in the last video about these headstocks, how they're a little bit too thick. And part of it is these grommets, which we want to use them, I guess, ferrules, whatever, not grommets. If I can find a set of tuners, here's a tuner. This is just like your typical Fender classic style tuner. You put it in, and it just barely sticks up. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to do it. So that's what I was talking about in that last video. These things are a little bit thicker than your standard headstock. You can kind of see these tuners once I got them out, how tall they are. And this one's missing. I've got one that I could replace this with, but man, these things ain't going to hold tune. They don't hold tune, anytime good. So I'm not going to worry about that. What I have came up with is I did find a set of tuners that I had taken off something at some point that are long enough to go through and stick up high enough that you can actually use them, which will actually be fine. It'll work out great. So, rather than, at the back of this has a little cover, so I'll remove that and just use it with the open gear showing like this. I mean, either way, you can do it either way, but this kind of looks like some kind of cheap Japanese tuner made in Japan in the 60s kind of thing. We don't want that. So that's what, I'm going to end up putting these tuners on. I'm not going to fill the old holes in or nothing. I'm just going to leave them. But these will kind of look the part, and they stick up, high enough to where we can use them. So that's that problem solved. That's not all original, but so what? So that's about all I can do on the neck till I get my fret dips in and I can actually get some speed about doing those frets. Something we can do is I'm going to go ahead, strip everything off this body, and then we can start cleaning it up, making, seeing what it's going to look like. So that's probably one of the few things I can do right now on this particular job. And I never have nothing ready. Ever, never. Oh. I'm bad to just turn the camera on. I don't rehearse nothing, if you can't tell. I don't rehearse anything. I just cut it on and go. If I tried to rehearse it, it would be bad. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube with people playing these guitars, and one that was just like this. The headstock was a little different. It didn't have a truss rod, but the body, bridge, pickup, everything else was the same. And it actually had a pretty neat sound. So we may just try to get this thing refretted, new tuners on it. I mean, that's going to make a world of difference, and then we'll see what it sounds like. We may want to change something from there, but we want it to have its original character if it's a good character. Kind of fooling with these things a little bit. I've looked at some of them, and I can't believe the price that some of these things are bringing. Not this particular model per se, but it actually brings more than I thought it would. But okay, there we are with all our spider webs and bugs and all this good stuff. And I'm not sure why it has a hole drill right there. Maybe somebody can tell us. I don't know. Unless there was a different type of bridge that went on one of these. I mean, surely they didn't drill a hole out like that just to run the ground wire in. But that's possible. We're going to pull it out. It's all corroded and bad looking. There's a better look with our pick guard since we got everything off. We'll clean all this up. Try to clean this body up some. So that's going to help things out a whole lot. We'll see how well this thing cleans up. Maybe It might be worth saving without refinishing. It's a little bit, just slightly dirty. Really don't look that bad once it's, once it gets cleaned and polished up. There's some places it's got some paint, stuff like that, that I really will try to get off somehow. But I know a lot of people don't like these guitars. And, a lot of it's the way they were set up when they were new. I mean, they were mass produced and run through and made as fast as they could possibly make them. No attention to detail at all. And a little bit of attention and detail may be all they need. I've got a video coming up, I hope. I have purchased something, another type of guitar that's a lot older than this. It's late 40s, early 50s, I'm guessing. But the post office has apparently lost it somewhere between here and New Hampshire. So I don't know when and if I'm ever going to get it. It's not like if they lose it, they can send me another one. So we'll have a video on that guitar coming up. Hopefully soon. Man, I tell you, I don't want them to lose nothing like that. I mean, if you lose something, Amazon Prime, whatever, they lose your garden sprayer, so what? You start losing something that's that old, man, it just never fails. So I'm dealing with a good seller. I got it off eBay. Dealing with a good seller. Has been really communicating very well and trying to fix it. So I appreciate that. But there's quite a bit coming up to do. And believe it or not, I actually bought an interface. I don't know how to use it. It hasn't got here yet. So maybe some of this audio, this, that, and the other will be better once I understand how it all works. Kind of old and don't know that kind of stuff. This is cleaning up fairly well. I think well enough to leave it alone. I mean, it's not like it's ever probably going to be of like huge, great value. And who knows? Who knows? 30 years from now, these things may be bringing a fortune. I remember having one of those. Wished I'd have kept it. 40 years from now, I don't guess I'll care. But all right. There's that white paint I'm going to try to do something with getting that off. I may be able to take just a little bit of steel wool. Really fine steel wool. Let me see if I can find some. We'll see what. All right, we'll see if we can make any progress at getting some of this off without taking off something we don't want to take. Alright, I may a little bit there, a little bit there. I can polish anything out that kind of mars the shine. Just try to get rid of that white paint. There was another place right here on the front. I don't know if it's going to show up right here. I'm going to try to get that. Oh yeah, that's got that. A little more here. It's like old amplifiers. They always have these little white specks of paint on them. I mean, it's like every one of them. All the old amps has got like the little white specks of paint on the top or the sides or somewhere. Just when you think you're done. I'm sure there's somebody got a good idea how to do this better than this. This is the way I'm going to do it. Okay. Now let's get us a little polish and see if we can polish this up. Well, I won't say she's like new money, but certainly better than it was before. I mean, not bad. Not bad considering. I mean, it's still got it's relicked naturally. Probably been, banged around in somebody's closet for years. So, anyway, we got the body cleaned up anyway. So we'll move on to the pick guard and try to get all that clean because it certainly could use a lot of cleaning. It's in pretty bad shape. Got our pickup out, and I'm quite certain, which I'll try to get this in the light, but I'm quite certain given the corrosion line, the dirt line on this pickup, that it has never changed position. If it has, it's been years and years because there's just a defining line right where it's set through the pick guard. I mean, you can see everything above it's kind of corroded, flaking off. Everything below it's still relatively good shape, shiny, whatever. So I don't think this guitar was ever messed with as far as pickup adjustment and everything. Electronics, I don't think it's ever been fooled with. It seems like this is the first time it's really ever been apart. That's kind of got everything tore down to, where I can start. I did clean up on the pick guard a little bit. It looks a little better. I hate that little end's broken off right there, but it is what it is. So that's got that cleaned up. And here's my thoughts. We know the pickup works. I hate that the chrome plating's kind of coming off of it, but oh well, it is what it is. But it actually feels pretty heavy. And I hadn't checked it to see what it comes out at. I could do that right quick before we get through with this, but I'm going to clean everything up. But given that all the electronics appear to work, I'm not quite sure about the tone. I couldn't really tell, but it should. I think put it back like it is for right now, not changing no pickups out, nothing till we see. Get the fretboard, get the new frets in, new tenors on, put it back together, see, do a setup, see what it sounds like, because we may mess up a good thing. We go changing things out. If something about this didn't work, was bad, then I would be all about changing it to whatever. But given that it actually works, I think we'd be really messing up to change it because we want it to have the same, that sound they have. So anyway, that's kind of a boring video about nothing, but it's just a video about what I've been doing and keeping everybody up to date on the direction we're going on this for the people keeping up with it. And if you want to keep up with what we're going to do in the next video and the one after that and the one after that, please consider subscribing. Hit the little bell, do the whole thing. I like to see it because it makes me feel like some of the stuff I do matters. But, it's, I'm not out to be the YouTube guru. I just do these, and I appreciate people subscribing. It helps a few more people maybe see these. So, I appreciate that. And all you guys that are subscribed, girls, I appreciate that as well. Maybe we'll learn something together through all this. So, anyway, guys, until the next time, see you.